I've heard you have to remove a lot of tooth structure for zirconia. Is this the case with EZCrowns? Well, if we start with just a basic fact, zirconia does not flex. Stainless steel does flex. So you are going to have to remove more tooth structure with a zirconia crown prep, regardless what kind of zirconia crown you're using, than a stainless steel crown. That being said, a study that came out a couple years ago showed that EZCrowns actually required the least amount of tooth removal. One of the areas that is tough with zirconia crowns is the more undercut that a crown has, the better the emergence profile. And with stainless steel, we like that undercut. They're all pre-crimped so we can snap them into place. Well, with zirconia, it doesn't quite work that way. So we want that undercut, but too much undercut. Remember, the opening of that crown is going to be the minimum amount that you're going to have to prepare that tooth to fit the crown over the tooth preparation. So one of the things that we did is we took that undercut and we relaxed it a little bit on the buccal and the lingual. We also did the same thing on the interproximal. So instead of it coming down and really being curved, we relaxed that out a little bit. And what that did is that allowed a crown to fit over the preparation with less tooth reduction. It's important with a single crown, but I'm telling you, when you're working with multiple crowns, that's where the magic really happens. I don't know if you've done multiple back-to-back zirconia crowns, but being able to have just another millimeter in between when you're seating them is super, super important. So our crowns, we have two features in the shape of them. I just addressed one, which was the interproximal shape. We also have what we call occlusal flat fit. And what that means is that our occlusal profile, a lot of times crowns have nice deep grooves, and while those grooves look nice when you're holding a crown like at a show, when it comes to functioning in the mouth, remember the cusp tip to the central groove, that's the minimum distance occlusally that you're going to have to prepare that tooth to seat that crown. So what we did is we flattened out that occlusal. We add some stain and glaze in the occlusal so it looks like there's morphology in there, but we really flattened that out. And by doing that, we allowed you to be able to do less tooth reduction, very similar to a stainless steel crown, about 1.5 millimeters of reduction for you to seat those down. How long does prepping for an EZCrown take for most doctors? How can I increase my speed? Man, that is a loaded question. I work with a lot of pediatric dentists. I've talked to a lot of pediatric dentists, and some offices, believe it or not, have actually switched from stainless steel to zirconia. They don't even offer stainless steel crown anymore unless the patient really, really wants it. And even then, they're deciding whether or not to refer them to another office. So they have, with time and practice, you can get very fast and efficient with these. Now, when it comes to how do I get faster, how do I become more efficient, repetition is really what makes the difference. The more you do helps to make the difference. So remember, if you want to get faster, it requires you to do more crowns. You've got to do more to get faster. We teach a very simple technique. We have a burr system that fits with all the steps in that system. And so the more you can reproduce that, occlusal reduction, axial reduction, subgingival reduction, seating of the crown, the more you can do those, the faster, more efficient, and the better your results are going to be. So remember, if you want to swim, you got to jump in the pool over and over and over, and pretty soon it's going to be as fast and as easy as a stainless steel crown is today. Will I always have to pulp the tooth? The simple answer is no. One of the things that's challenging is when you go ahead and prep these teeth, a lot of times people will prep it and they're used to prepping like a stainless steel crown. So instead of keeping the prep straight up and down, they're slanted. So they prep it, it doesn't quite fit, so they prep more, and what ends up happening is they'll end up nicking a pulp horn and they'll have to pulp the tooth. When that crown doesn't fit, 99% of the time the problem is not above the gums. It's that portion of the tooth that's hiding below the gums that you haven't quite got all the way down. So remember, instead of prepping this way, stay straight up and down, but get subgingival, because it's that little collar around the periphery that you need to take off. And once that comes off, you'll be able to seat the crown no problem. So remember, less preparation above the gums, straight up and down a little bit more, 1 to 2 millimeters subgingival, and you're not gonna have a problem seating those crowns, and you're not gonna be getting close to Big Red to do pulps. Got a question, a comment, clinical challenge? Remember, email me anytime. Ask Jeff at sprigusa.com. Leave a comment below, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.